Hello everyone, this is Zero5 and welcome to the Cobra Commander toy review. And in this review, we'll be looking at the 2006 release by Toy Biz on the Marvel Legends action figure review on series number 11, the Legendary Rider series on Ultron. Now, I contemplated quite some time whether or not if I wanted to get this figure, but it was the only one left, the only Ultron left being sold in the shop. So I was like, okay, let's get it. He does indeed have a really nice body sculpt. I really don't like the rabbit ears. Now, before I continue on rambling, let's take a look at the front part of the packaging. You got Ultron there and that silly little glider with Ultron head. I think it should be an Ultron head. Yeah, it is an Ultron head. That's really weird looking. And you have the, well, trading card for Ultron. Really nice. And at the back, you have the rest of the series itself. Oh, it's shiny. And in this section here, you have the bio. And here we have his stance. Now, without further ado, and I don't want to waste too much time babbling on the packaging, let's open up this packaging so I can molest the toy. Be right back. And we're back after removing the figure and the rest of the stuff out from the packaging. Let's take a look at the comic that came along in the package. This is the Avengers comic, volume 3, issue number 22. And what do we have here? A very awesome front cover of Ultron glorifying himself, standing while the rest of the Avengers stay fallen. This is the most awesome cover I've seen among many of the old covers in the old Marvel comics. But this issue isn't one of my favorite with Ultron appearances. I prefer the issue of the West Coast Avengers. I can't remember which issue was it, where he broke out of the Rikers prison, modified his body, and you have this swarm of flesh-eating nanobites, and then he fought some of the Avengers, the West Coast Avengers, in their mansion against Hawkeye, Scarlet Witch. There's Vision as well, the second version of Vision, where he's in his dull yellow body. And also Mockingbird was there. He went to the mansion, went to the laboratory of Hank Pym, took all the damage and destroyed older Ultron versions, and kidnapped Mockingbird to turn her into his bride. Really, really good issue. Well, to me, it's a really good issue, especially when you get to see Hawkeye's wife turn into, well, a machine. Really nice issue. Now, let's take a look at the pathetic looking glider here. As you can see, there's a lot of dust. This thing has been staying in the packaging for like 4 years, so what can you expect? Now, I'm really disappointed about this glider. First off is, come on, it's really small. Look at the size of this figure. It's really lame for my Ultron to stand on this pathetic looking glider, which is as big as Taskmaster's vehicle or some of the characters like Vengeance or Wolverine's vehicles. This is really small. This is really pathetic looking. Worse, it doesn't even come with a joint and a base for it to for you to post this glider with Ultron. So all you have is this thingy lay flat like so. See, this really pathetic looking. There's not a lot of details on the bottom. Some paint application which is not really well done. It's orangey, and it covered the entire section like so. I'm sorry, I know they're trying to do some sort of turbine engines or whatever, but shouldn't it be like the other way around? And this tiny little jet on the back here, it's not really good paint job. As you can see, all the orange smeared on the bottom part. Maybe I can understand they're trying to make flames, but they should include that in. That's like how Vengeance is. And the size of it is really small, as already stated. Not much of details on this vehicle itself. What's the point of putting the pad here if you have these two pegs for him to stand? Now, the weirdest thing is, two things is that it comes with these two ginormous pegs so it can, well, sit quite still, but I don't know why they wanted to do something like that. And this glider comes with the head of Ultron. Why? Seriously, it looks really weird. It reminds me of the Ultimate Comics, where the Ultimate Ultron has the whole army of Ultron that are vehicles like Ultron ship, Ultron battleship, Ultron submarine. You know what I'm saying. And why is it they don't use this head for, instead of using this rabbit ear Ultron head? I mean, I prefer this head rather than this. Now, enough of babbling about this glider. Let's take a look at the figure. Now, this Ultron. So the paint job is basically very simple. It's mostly silver, and you got this cyan blue, very glossy light blue paint job on certain parts of the body. And the eyes is it's well painted. It's all red, but it's not red enough. It's not as red as the Marvel Universe version. Now, the sculpt of the figure itself is absolutely amazing. It's just that I don't like the rabbit ears. I prefer something like this rather than this. It looks kind of weird. And the neck is extremely fat. Look at this fat neck and really wide face. But I really love the entire body sculpt. And the back here, it reminds me of the movie version of Megatron. Or the spinal thingy, and this back piece here, it looks exactly like that. Torso is really huge. In the legs here, you got this kind of like chicken leg going on. I wish there's a joint for this section, but yeah, can't hope for everything, What I don't understand is why do they even bother putting this butt plate? Yeah, it just hinders the leg articulation a little bit. Speaking of articulation, let's take a look at his articulation. Head itself is a disappointment. It doesn't pivot the head up and down, and due to the size of his neck, you can only twist a little bit to the left and right, and that's about it. It's really, really disappointing on the neck itself. Torso, however, does bend nicely downwards, but can't bend backwards because it's hindered at the back. The spinal column there. Now, it does have the shoulder piece here, the shoulder armor, which is really small. And you can twist the arm 360 degrees and spread it all the way up like so, but it's hindered by this shoulder piece here. No biggie. Upper bicep can turn 260 degrees, double jointed. Well, not double jointed actually. I'm quite surprised. It doesn't come with double joint elbows. It can bend, but it doesn't bend all the way, and it doesn't straighten the arm all the way as well. As you can see, this is as much as you can do. Then the wrist joint, you can put downwards, upwards. There's this finger articulation, and the wrist can actually turn 260 degrees if we want to. Now, the hip joint is something I really don't like, because due to the peg is aimed at this direction rather than straight. So as you can see, when I twist the legs, you basically twist it like so. I can try to twist the ball joint at the hip, but it's really hard to reach and really hard to twist it. So I just leave it like so. And like I said before, the butt plate itself hinders the thigh plate here. So look at this. It's really hard to post this bastard sometimes. You got a double jointed knee. Ankle articulation can pivot downwards and upwards and go side to side, but it doesn't have toe articulation, so that's a bit disappointment. For this figure, it doesn't have a lot of articulation, but the sculpt itself looks really nice. Paint job is okay. Well, it's mostly silver, what can I say? I really wish that they used this head sculpt rather than the bunny ears with a really fat face, but he looks quite menacing enough. Overall, if I'm going to give a rating of this figure, it's not bad actually. It's not bad. This day, I'd most probably chuck it in a drawer. But the figure is impressive enough. I'll give it a 7 out of 10. Yes. So this is the end of the review. Thank you all for watching. This is Lucy05. I'm signing off.